it don't matter if you win by 41 or you win by 1. You don't get extra special credit if you win by more than 20 or 30 or 40 points. The Pacers won a home game. Great, good for you. The Knicks are at home, where they're a dominant playoff team thus far. They are favored, and they are going to win Game 5.
Welcome back to the Carton Show. Big Game 5 last night. As Craig said, the Knicks did win. It was close at first, but it did not end close. The Knicks ended up winning by 30 points, sitting their starters at the end of the fourth quarter. Craig, what were your big takeaways from the win last night?
Indiana is intimidated by Madison Square Garden playing in New York City in front of that crowd, and Jalen Brunson looked like a different player than he did in Indiana. Whatever was ailing him with the foot, the leg, whatever it might have been, is fixed, clearly. However they got that done, Mr. Miyagi style, I don't know what it was. But he was back to being what we saw against Philly and what we saw in the first couple games of this series. Like, dude took 35 shots, and he was telling everybody, look, if we go down, we're not going down without me saying something about it. Obviously, you also had, I think, a bit of a turning point for the Knicks in this particular series in that this game was very chippy. Obviously, you had the Miles Turner stuff with DiVincenzo, the Miles Turner stuff earlier in the game in the first half with both Alec Burks and with Hartenstein, who, I don't know if you knew about Hartenstein.
Yeah, he's black.
He's black, yeah. And by the way, they also were fighting some officiating in the first half of the game where every major call, not that they were bad calls, but every major call did go against them, whether it was the offensive foul call on Brunson, which started off as a defensive foul call, right? And then they switched it. I thought it was the right decision. He came in with the elbow. But every major call went the other way.
But that's why your coach has your coach has those timeouts to challenge the call.
Yeah, and again,
everybody knew he was.
But there were
wrong.
4 reviews back to see call because everyone went against the Knicks. The Knicks got down early, came right back, of course, and answered the bell. I also think in this series that you are seeing a PhD level masterclass in coaching. Not that Rick Carlisle's a bad coach. I think he's a very good coach as well. But Tom Thibodeau has outcoached him now in this series. Starting Deuce McBride yesterday and having his speed on the court and his ability to knock down, the outside jump shot, especially the three-pointer, was a big factor in why the Knicks built that lead going into halftime. And again, here's a guy that's not played a lot for the Knicks, throughout the regular season, getting major minutes now, and I give Tom Thibodeau a lot of credit. That was a key change.
Yeah, big change for them, starting McBride.
Over Precious.
Yeah, over Precious, starting them. And you got, as coaches, you got to make changes. And he saw the changes, or he wanted to make this change, and he did. And McBride came out and rung the bell, just like everybody else. But I tell you this, the first 3 or 4 or 5 minutes of that game, it looked bad. It looked real bad. You thought that the Indiana Pacers was going to come out and play the same way they did in game.
And they had the lead, like 17-9, whatever it was. Yeah.
Right. Then you call a timeout. And then I don't know what happened to the Indiana Pacers. I mean, they lost their mind. You had Halliburton throwing the ball away. They couldn't make shots. They couldn't bring the ball up. Everything was a turnover. Everything was sped up. And then what I like is that Brunson saw that Halliburton don't want to stick Brunson.
Right.
When he switch off on Brunson, he don't want that smoke. For some reason, everybody else switch. You're a point guard. You're a guard. How come you don't switch on Brunson and stay on Brunson? He always switch, and then he wait for his man like, come on, let's get back. By that time, you're not recovering to McBride, and that's what McBride started to open up the game and started, man, here's a play right here. Coming off right now. Look at him. Now look. He's going. And they let him, and you know what they did? They let Brunson get downhill. Okay?
Into the lane
with his left hand. Okay? He got there with his right hand.
But he's just dribbling past everybody.
Nobody's standing in front of him.
You know what's interesting,
and then he goes to play right here.
Yeah.
I mean, like, come on. If you're going to come out, you got to switch that. That's a play where you got to switch.
Well, look,
and they don't switch. Look at him. Now he want to get back. Come on, man. Y'all got to get out
wide
to these
open
guys.
Jumper.
Wide open
Look,
jumper.
there's also, the New York Knicks took 29 more shots than the Pacers did. They had 24 more rebounds than the Pacers did.
62 to 36 in the paint.
And it's wanty. Yeah. Like the New York Knicks you could say that in Game 4 maybe Indiana wanted it more. I accept that. Last night, the Knicks wanted it more.
I'm going to tell you who wanted it more than anybody. Instead of Brunson.
DDV.
No.
Hartenstein.
You know about him?
Yeah. He's black.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you this. Hartenstein, 12 offensive rebounds, 9 in the first half.
Yeah,
He
money
controlled
good.
the boards himself. And it was a clinic for him to just control the boards.
Now, there's a narrative that's out there that I think we really need to start rejecting, Plaxico Burson. You're guilty of it as much as anybody.
Wow.
You're buying into the anti-Nick narrative. If I could just go through a couple things that you folks said to me over the last 48 hours, may I do that?
Hey, I can back mine up. You know what I mean?
Good. What's there? I remember.
I can show you.
Yeah.
I can show you one that you just said.
Well, we'll
that the Pacers won by 31 points, 35 points, and it don't care if you win by 35 or 40, and you can win by 1.
Yeah.
That just happened last night.
Yes,
right?
it did.
So
Yeah.
So what you just said doesn't. It matters to last night.
Except,
Does their game travel? Is what we want to know. Does the
It's the
game
same
travel?
The game travels. We won in Philly. We'll win in Indiana Friday night. We'll have a nice long weekend before we worry about the Celtics. But there's a few things that have been out there that I think I owe it to the audience just to address with you clowns in regards to the Knicks. Remember when you guys came out and said, "Oh, the series is over. The Knicks are too tired"?
Yeah.
The Knicks are too tired? Survey says, not too tired. Remember when you guys said, "Oh, the injuries are just too much for the New York Knicks to overcome"?
Yeah.
Survey says. Remember when you guys told me, this was a good one, that the Indiana Pacers just have too much depth for the Knicks to handle?
Yes.
I remember that one.
I remember that.
Survey says. Remember when you guys told me that Halliburton was the next great up-and-coming point guard and scorer in the NBA?
You never heard that come out my mouth.
Yeah.
You never heard that come out of my mouth.
Survey says.
But that never came out my mouth.
Remember when you guys told me that with Mitchell
That
Robinson?
never came out my mouth. No. We got to go back to that. That was a lie. That never came out my mouth.
But survey says.
Yeah, survey said. Yeah, that was a lie.
Remember when you guys told me with no Mitchell Robinson that the Knicks just didn't have enough size in this series? Remember you guys told me that?
No.
Yeah.
Again.
Survey says.
No, again, I'm going to show you what the survey says back. I said Mitchell Robinson was a liability.
Yeah, Mitchell
Robinson.
Robinson is doing the Knicks a favor by being injured because all they're going to do is foul him and put him on the free throw line.
Flax, remember when you told me that the New York Knicks can't win without OG Anunoby? Survey says.
I never said that.
I said it.
He said that. I didn't say that.
I said that.
And remember when someone went on TV, it wasn't you two guys, and actually had the balls to say that the New York Knicks are a fluke? Survey says.
Oh.
So all those narratives out there from all the Knicks haters.
But let me ask you a question.
Yeah, do what you got to do.
They got game 6, right?
Yes, they do. Friday night in Indiana.
In Indiana.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it might be a game 7.
There certainly might be. Now we understand how that works.
And then what you said today is non and void.
Well, we'll see how it plays out. Survey says. There you go. Hey there. Thank you so much for watching The Carton Show. You can subscribe right here to get all the latest bits and segments from the show. And by the way, while you're at it, we have a lot of great shows on FS1, so check them out too.